Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mikey Blends here, bringing you back another video. This time we're going to be doing a undercut right here for my boy. You can see he's really overdue. You know how to get him right for Valentine's Day. Here's the before and here's the after. Just look at him, all fresh and up, ready for that Valentine's Day. You know, so the first thing we're going to start off with is parting his hair. We're going to be damping it up and using our comb to separate it all. We're going to be using clips to be separating his hair from the bottom. So after we're done, this is how it should look. We're going to be going in with our 4 guard to debulk it up. We're going to have that closed. As we start debulking, I really don't take it all the way to the top, because the undercut we're going to give him is not exactly an undercut. We're going to leave a little bit of bulk so it can still blend in nicely. So in the scooping out motion, we're not going to go all the way to the top, and we're going to make sure to leave that hair right there so we could go in later using the clipper over comb method. As we proceed to debulk his hair, you could tell that I don't go all the way to the top. We're going to be leaving that. So just make sure as soon as you start reaching that top, just to be scooping out. Now that we finished scooping it out, now it's the clipper over comb technique. Here I'll be showing you guys that I'm leaving that hair and just taking out the bigger, longer hairs out the top. As you can tell now, it's all blended in nicely. So now just do that all around. As you do the clipper over comb method, just make sure you take your time, because it is really hard to recover from this step if you mess up, since you're removing a lot of the bulk. But just make sure to take your time. Using the clipper over comb, all you're really doing is getting rid of the longer hairs and evening it out with the hairs that you had previously cut. Now after debulking, now it's finally time to set in that bald guideline. So using our BaByliss trimmers, we're going to be setting in that bald line. My client here wants a low drop fade, so that's what we're going to be giving him. As you set in the bald guideline, make sure you're just tapping the trimmer against the skin and not applying a lot of pressure, because you could redden up that skin right there and irritate it. After you placed in that guideline, now just clean it all up and remove all the hairs underneath that guideline. Make sure to clean up all the hairs behind the ear, because a lot of barbers do tend to forget all about those little whiskers right there behind the ear. So make sure you go over it a couple times just to make sure everything is all clean. As you start debulking the hair, just make sure that the trimmer is flat on the client's skin to make sure that it doesn't cause any irritation to him. As you're cleaning up, just make sure you always take your time to make sure you don't leave any hairs behind. After we finish cleaning it all up in both sides, now it's time to use our BaByliss foil shavers right here. These are my favorite. They're really nice with shaving. So here we're going to be going in, and we're not going to go all the way to the top. We're going to be leaving like a finger width of a guideline to make sure we come back and tap it out. As you use a foil shaver, do not apply pressure. Just let the machine do the work. Just make sure you leave that finger width of a guideline so you can come back and blend it out really easily. As you can tell, I'm not just going up and down with the machine, I'm also going side to side. That's because his hair pattern just grows that way, and we always want to go against the grain. As you can see, I'm not going all the way up to where my guideline is at. I'm leaving a little finger width, so just make sure you do that all around so we can blend it out. After setting that guideline all around, what you want to do is just tap it. As you can see here, I'm tapping it going down, but also if that doesn't work, you could also just scoop it out. But my technique is always to just tap and go down with it to make sure it all blends in together. As you see now, I just tapped it out and it's all gone. So do that all around the head until you're finished. After we finish balding, now it's time to use our wall seniors with no guard open. We'll be setting in a finger width of a guideline. Make sure as you're setting your guideline to always scoop out and don't go over the guideline. Just make sure you always set in that finger width and always scoop out. Drop fades could be tricky at times, so just make sure you use the best of the ability you can with your clippers and always use the corners to always get that drop fade effect. Make sure to always brush your hair down to make sure you're getting an even guideline. After setting in that guideline, a common practice I like doing is just going over it again to make sure it's all even all around. Now after setting our guideline, now it's time to erase it. We'll be doing the no guard close this time with the lever closed. Just make sure you're always flicking in at that guideline and you're not setting in a new one, so just flick in at that harsh guideline we left. The lever closed allows us to blend in that baldness to where there's hair, so now we're going to be opening it up halfway to blend it in all together. A really good way to blend everything together is to use the corners of your clippers. Using the corner of your clippers allows you to commit more errors, just in case if you're a beginner, but using the corners of your clippers is always your best friend. Also on drop fades, you especially want to be using the corners of those clippers to blend it in all together. Make sure to always step back and observe your fade. If you see any dark spots, as how I seen right here, just don't be afraid to go back and hit those dark spots. Our next step is using our number 1 guard with the lever open. Doing a finger width guideline, we're going to be following the same guideline we had previously set, dropping it as we get to the back. As we set in the number 1 guard, we want to be following the other guideline that we set, which is still following the same drop fade, and make sure to always flick out. On here you can see that we're still following that same pattern and dropping that fade when it comes to the back. Now that we set in that number 1 guard, we're going to be using our half guard with the lever halfway open. Using our half guard, we're going to be removing this guideline that we left with the number 1 guard. Make sure to just hit that guideline right there and not set in a new one. We're just going to be removing that dark guideline that we left with the number 1 guard. As you use the half guard, make sure to scoop out as soon as you hit that dark guideline, because we are not setting in another guideline. We're blending it all together. When it comes to the back area, just take your time because it does get a little bit more tricky since it's darker there, but just take your time and see it all come in together. Now using our 1.5 guard with the lever all the way open, we're going to be setting in a new guideline, and as we get to the back, we're going to be dropping it. As we set in that guideline, just make sure you always keep scooping out so we could have an easier blend when it comes into setting in that new guideline. As we're using the clipper and scooping out, always make sure to lay the clipper flat on the skin, because we could still run the risk of irritating them or scratching them with the guard on. As you can see, we're scooping out a lot because we do not want to set in a solid guideline. We just really want to make it easier for us to blend in the future, so just keep scooping it. Now using the 1.5 guard again, still with the lever closed, with that guideline we just set in, we're going to be softening it up using the same guard. Closing up that lever using the 1.5 guard really makes it easier to blend it out using our number 1 guard in a bit. Now after finishing using that 1.5 guard, we're going to be switching over to our 1 guard with the lever halfway open, and we're going to be flicking out that soft guideline we just left. Same goes with this guard. We're just going to be flicking out that soft guideline and not creating a new one. After using the number 1 guard, it's time to use the number 3 guard with the lever all the way open. And now we're going to be connecting everything all together with the number 3 guard, but we're going to be blending out the little harsh guideline there is. So the number 3 guard is the key guard that is going to blend everything in together, so make sure you're scooping out and not setting in a guideline. As you can see here with the number 3 guard, I am really scooping out to make sure I do not set in a new guideline. After we're done using the number 3 guard, now it's time to use the number 2 guard with the lever open to get rid of that little guideline we left, and now to bring the whole thing together. Using the number 2 guard, if you see no progress, you could close it up a little bit to bring in the whole fade. Now that we finished blending everything together, now it's my time for the favorite part. Right here, my guy didn't want anything off the top, so we're just going to be styling it using our Brovoline styling powder. Right here, I'm going to just be applying a little bit around the hair. My favorite part as a barber is honestly the styling process. I really like using the Brovoline styling powder. I really enjoy it. Right here, we're just going to be putting in a simple amount all around his hair, making sure it's in everywhere. Make sure the product is really in everywhere all around the hair and scrunch it in. After applying the Brovoline styling powder, now I like finishing it off using the Brovoline sea salt spray. Right here, the sea salt spray smells like coconut, and I just spray it in a couple times to get them in. Make sure to scrunch in that sea salt spray real quick to get it in all around the hair. And now here are the after results. Come on, I got my guy ready for Valentine's. I know he's ready. But this will do it for the end of this video. Here are the after results on both sides. I'm really thankful for you guys that keep watching my videos. It motivates me to do more. Make sure to always like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what you guys think about this haircut. Also follow the Instagram. I thank you guys and I appreciate it. See you guys all in the next one. Peace.